what the fuck happened with this movie? Everybody is going completely insane over this movie. What's it called? The Interview?
The Interview.
Seth Rogen's new thing?
Yeah, Seth Rogen and James Franco.
Seth Rogen is a guy I never got into. Anybody? You guys like Seth Rogen?
I like him.
Everybody does. I got nothing against him, but I just never really got into him. I don't know. I never watched his movies really. I saw a couple things, just didn't really think it was that funny. I don't know.
I always thought he was pretty funny.
All right. He's not bad. He's fucking better than 90% of shit out there, but it's
Wasn't he in that one movie when it was the end of the world at that party?
Oh, okay. That was
a good
really
one.
funny. That was. I did see that. That was hilarious.
I don't remember what that's called.
This is the end.
Yeah, that
That's
was really
fucking
funny.
hilarious. Okay. So now we got this whole situation. You know a lot about North Korea.
I do.
What what is the basis of this? They make a movie where they assassinate
the current leader.
the current leader
of North Korea, who's Kim Jong-un.
Okay. And North Korea freaked out. And
Yeah, they were not happy.
as soon as they heard about the plot weeks ago, right?
Right. Months ago.
Or months ago. Okay.
Yeah.
So now, supposedly, this is all up for fucking debate. I guess we'll get into that, right? What people are saying actually happened. But the basic story is that somebody hacked into Sony, their email servers, and basically used it as leverage for blackmail.
Basically, they dug up as much dirt as they could on anyone who worked with or for Sony.
But they also published a shitload of
Well,
emails, didn't
right.
they?
yeah, because I think it was something ridiculous,
published
like
or
8
released, whatever.
terabytes of information.
I don't know what that
which
means.
is a
Is that
shitload.
a lot?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, just for emails, that's a shitload.
Well,
Especially
I don't.
because
I don't know what else they got besides
Yeah.
emails, but 8 terabytes
Right.
of data.
if it's like songs and pictures, that's one thing. But yeah, just emails, that's fucking a lot. So what is the deal? So they hack the fucking shit. They hold they hold Sony hostage. Meanwhile, they release some of it basically to say we're serious, right?
Right.
And
Like,
they're-
we
and
actually
they're like,
did this.
And they're like, if you want to fucking fuck around, then we'll release more stuff. So
Right. So then theaters started
theaters
getting
started
nervous.
pulling out immediately.
Right. And then Sony was basically like, well, we don't have any theaters to play this movie in, so we're just going to not do it. Even though
They're
they
not going to
didn't-
release it in theaters. They didn't say
Right.
anything about online or any of that shit. They
Not
still have
yet,
the
no.
licensing. They're not just like
As of right
getting rid
now,
of
they
it.
said that they're exploring other platforms
Yeah.
for releasing it. So maybe on the internet or maybe just through DVD, but they're not going to be putting it in theaters
So
yet.
people are. I'm having a hard time understanding something about this. People are really mad at Sony, and it's like the knee jerk thing all over social networking. Good job, Sony. Now we bowed to North
Well,
Korean terrorists. Like, what did you want?
But here,
What,
I think.
what were they supposed to do? I
Well,
don't-
okay, so the hacker said, "Don't show this movie," and so Sony said, "We're not going to show the movie." And then the hackers replied again and said, "Great, thanks. Now don't ever release it in any format." So people are mad because Sony gave into one thing, and now they're getting it.
Now they just
they're
added
getting
it.
more demands
They added
made
a
on
demand,
them.
which is bad. That's fucking bad. Like kidnapper terrorist etiquette in general. You're not supposed to do that.
Right.
You fucking get your
But-
thing. That ruins it for other terrorists in the
We have-
future. One bad apple. You know what I mean?
There's no relationship with North Korea that would suggest that they would ever uphold their end of whatever they say. It's not like we have a relationship with them to lean on and say, "Hey, man, we're friends. You said you were going to do this."
Right, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, also North Korea is joined the U.S. for a joint probe into who did it because North Korea says it's not them.
Yeah, so now they're like, we volunteer to help you investigate who did this because it wasn't us.
So the government is saying we had nothing to do with this.
Right.
No, I heard that theory that, like, from the first days, like, nobody fucking has any clue who really did this because the people that did it in such a skilled way that they basically left no trace.
Right.
And nobody that I've been looking, I haven't done a shitload of research, but I poked around in a couple forums, and I don't understand the fucking lingo that guys that know about hacking use. So I don't know to what length I can really discuss this, but it seemed to me like the consensus was, hey, this was done like extremely professional. This was an insanely either professional or guys that had left back doors when they. What do you do? Build a server, program a server.
Yeah, I mean, it could have
whatever
been
you
someone
say.
in the
Someone on the
yeah.
inside.
They leave, but guys who initially set the server up left a fucking easy backdoor
Yeah.
that no one would know about, because like to a lot of people out there are saying it doesn't really make sense that they could get in and out that smoothly,
Right.
you know. So what does that mean? I don't fucking know,
No.
you know. But that's what they're fucking. I'm relying on the general online consensus, you know.
That there had to have been someone on the inside.
Yeah, maybe. And just in general, even more. I'm not even saying that so much as the real consensus that you can't argue with is that people are it's definitely saying this is an incredibly impressive thing that was done.
Right.
You know, in terms of hacking, it would require major skill, like
Right.
and
resources.
and
too.
it would
not
all-
just skill, but
and this is one of the most secure systems around or something, and this is like basically the implications are like they could do this to anyone if it was an actual hack job just from the outside. But so
Yeah.
what do you know about the inside job theory on this?
well, just about all the same things you've already said.
That's it?
Which is that
Yeah.
that it's just
That's
so
what the hackers are saying.
right. It's been it was so secure, or they thought that it's hard to conceive a way that people in a third world country would be able to hack into something that secure.
And especially when supposedly North Korea doesn't really have the internet
Anything.
like we have.
Yeah.
Now, I guess we've known, if you follow up on like some of the more deep news kind of stuff, like you'll know that it's been said for years the higher ups in the North Korean government have all the same shit we have. They're
Right.
Well-
they're on YouPorn, they're fucking on Facebook.
They actually
but
traditionally
the population doesn't have shit, right? They have
No.
like a closed internet, like you used to have.
incredibly
In China.
censored.
Like,
Worse
yeah.
than China. Like unbelievably censored. And, most of them don't even have electricity, first of all.
Okay.
But the ones who do not have access to the internet. And if they do, it's very, very, very limited. Whereas the North Korean government has a long tradition of being completely obsessed with American culture. So they give themselves the internet and they get all the American culture that they want through the internet, while they ban anybody in the country from knowing anything about us besides what they filter down to them.
And North
But the-
Koreans don't even know this shit to a large degree, right?
No, definitely not.
I mean, there's
Absolutely not. No.
got to be some people. There's got to be some people in North Korea that are hip and aware and are fucking basically the equivalent of the three. What are the fucking dudes? The lone gunmen. You know?
lone
And
gunmen,
they've got
yeah.
their basement set up, and they've got like computers from the 90s.
Yeah, but the crazy
all
thing
wired up
about-
all crazy to some homemade satellite and shit. Like, there's got to be people like that over there that are on the truth path, aren't there?
The problem with that is that they shut down anything that is even remotely anti-government or could remotely be conceived as anti-government. They will take you away.
Well, it's a
they will lock
secret.
your
I know it.
family
No,
up.
I'm
They will
I know,
murder
but-
you. They will. I mean,
But there's got to be people fighting.
there
Just from what I know of
mean,
human nature, there is. There has.
There
to
has
be.
to be, and there are a
So-
lot of people who have defected from North Korea and escaped, and like kind of led charges from outside of the country to try and get information to people and out of North Korea to people in the world and from the world and into North Korea.
Okay.
Well, and also I heard that there's the government they recruit hacker smart computer children when they're like 12 or 13, like the way the Soviet Union recruits gymnasts when they're kids and
They'll get,
takes
like,
them away from their family, and they're like, you study computer science now and learn how to become an awesome hacker. And so they say that division of the government,
North Korean government does
yeah,
it.
yeah, they said that division
Our
is who
government does
did
that, I'm sure. You know.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
but-
but that just kind of lends to the idea that if this attack did come from North Korea, there's no way the government didn't know about it, because they're the only people in that country with the resources to even get connected to the Sony
we got
security system.
We got a caller on this topic. You guys want to take it?
Caller.
Caller, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
So, the Sony / North Korea thing.
Uh-huh.
I don't think it's a Sony / North Korea thing.
Uh-oh.
I kind of think North Korea specifically, is being a scapegoat for a very, very, very clever marketing campaign.
So you think, I've heard this theory too, that it's the people maybe even Sony is behind the whole thing because they know this will make this the biggest fucking movie for the next 20 years. There hasn't been a
remember
banned
Pineapple
movie in a long
Express,
time.
Right? Hilarious movie, Seth Rogen and Franco.
Do you
but,
think he's
like,
just a
it's not
brilliant-
blockbuster, right? It's not
he's-
going to make a lot of money.
I mean, this would make him the fucking P.T. Barnum, you know.
Well,
of
and if
his-
this
of
does
his
ever
day.
come out in the theater, it's going to make $1 bazillion.
Everybody's gonna
Or
see it.
wherever it comes out, even
Well-
if it's like Hulu or Netflix or
It's a
any
point- yeah, it's a-
distribution system.
It's a point
Or
that
on
definitely.
Sony has PlayStation, right? Make it like a PlayStation thing that you can like get if you have a PlayStation.
That's not a bad point. It is a point that has to be made because it is so brilliant. If it is a brilliant marketing strategy, and there's nothing you can do to market an artistic project better than to get it banned. I mean, there's really nothing.
Right.
There's nothing you can do, and especially in our fucking maudlin theatrical culture that everybody loves to jump on some social bandwagon. You know, like it will be a social obligation to see this movie, to discuss it.
Regardless
You know what
of
I'm
your
saying?
feelings
Like-
of whether it should be or shouldn't be, or you hate it or you love it or whatever, it doesn't matter. You're going to watch it.
Yeah.
Well, and if it was in fact an inside job at Sony, so one of the things I was reading said that like it most likely has to have someone on the inside at Sony, and so they are trying to reflect that away from them. Like they know it was that, so they say, "Oh, it's North Korea," and then they get the movie banned, and then it ends up being like this huge windfall for Sony when everyone does see it and spend money on it.
Well,
I
I
also
guess
think it's a little suspicious that everything that's come out from Sony is like bad to like meh. I mean, I think that there's
What are
probably
they-
a
I
lot
don't even know
worse
what-
things that could have been said.
What kind of
It's
movies do
all-
they put out? I don't fucking know.
oh, the stuff they're putting out.
Well, isn't that what you're talking about? The other movies from Sony have all been.
Not the movies, but like the emails amongst the executives.
Oh,
stuff they got
like,
leaked.
sorry, I
Dick,
misheard.
It's
well,
all
obviously
like
they're
celebrity
dicks. They're Hollywood
gossip.
executives. Who cares?
Right.
It's just
and it's
gossip.
embarrassing
It's not-
for them, but it's
Yeah.
you know. Well, and
It's
that
not company
you know what
ruining.
though?
It's fine.
Those are the people in charge of the company, and you know what they don't. I mean, they cut right to the heart of their interest. You know, do you want it to get out that you like banged so and so? Do you want it to get, you know what I mean? Like that's anybody's personal life can be gotten to and exploited that way. Like no matter how big you are, maybe that is the most effective way of fucking controlling those people, though. You know.
Yeah, and that was
But-
just the first round of things that they allegedly obtained and released. I mean, they might be starting small and releasing bigger and bigger things if it's a genuine
Well,
hacking and not just a.
because I heard they
Well, that's
released enough
So, but the
information
caller-
to convince people they were legit.
Right, and I think
So what was
I'm
that?
sorry, I'm being really slow right now. I guess the caller's implying that that's why they only released that stuff is because it's less damaging to the company. They're all
I'm
willing.
saying
They're
that
willing to
they're in
fucking put it out
control
about
of what
themselves.
does and doesn't
Maybe
get
the
released up to
emails aren't
now.
even fucking
They might
real.
not
You know?
ultimately be in control. Like that brings up a bigger point. Like who's really in charge of this leak? They said, "Hey, Sony, this is going to be a good idea. You're going to
Man
make a lot of money
upstairs
if you do this." Okay, wink,
really
wink,
in
we'll
charge.
do it. But if they don't follow along and follow, like, I didn't think this until Obama came on the air and said, like, Sony made a mistake. They should have played the video. Now it's okay for everybody to watch it.
And why the
Like,
fuck
there's
is
a bigger
Obama?
agenda, maybe. Why do they want everybody to see this movie?
Why-
What happen when everybody simultaneously watches this movie?
No, the
Yeah.
Obama thing doesn't make any sense.
He just comes out and
He-
says strings of buzzwords.
Yeah.
He just
It only
doesn't-
makes
doesn't-
sense if you think if there's a bigger picture involved. Like,
Well,
Yeah,
but
whatever.
he keeps
does
going
even
back
talk?
and forth too. He keeps saying he was like, "Oh, they were wrong to have done that," and then he said, "Well, North Korea has provided this is an act of aggression, and we will retaliate." And then he says, "Oh, well."
He said we'll retaliate.
Yeah, he
the
said-
fuck is
I
going
think that's
on?
a real
literally what he
specific
said.
message that like we're
Hang
all
on, is
expecting to
Sony
receive.
based in the U.S. First of all, I've been meaning to find that out.
I'll find out.
Aren't they? Oh, Japanese is what I would think, but I don't. I mean,
But then he said that weird thing about we didn't give in, we have prevailed over North Korea. And then he said we're going to add North Korea to the list of countries that we view as funding terrorism.
he's like a
he
guy.
doesn't make
he's-
any sense.
He's like a president wind-up doll.
Yeah.
You just fucking go out there, pull the string, hope it kind of makes sense. Like, all right, get him out of there. He's getting very Reagan-esque in that way. It's just walk up, don't fall over and throw up, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Sony is headquartered in Tokyo.
Headquartered
Right, but
in
not their
Tokyo.
picture making headquarters, right? Like
I don't know. Fucking who cares? I'm sure they do enough. I
propaganda
mean,
arm is
I'm
based
sure
in the
they're
United
enough of a presence in the U.S. economy that
Well, they have like
Right.
obviously a U.S. headquarters as well.
And I'm sure.
Yeah.
What I mean is, yeah, like I'm sure it does matter, what they do here. So, what else you get on this shit? What were some of the emails that they released?
I don't think they.
No, I got some stuff.
they, The ones that I saw, that I heard actually, not saw, heard talked about were amongst a couple of studio heads joking about which movies Obama would like. And they were like, oh, he'll like Django. And they were just naming a bunch of movies with black leads. And they're like,
it's just too...
And then the media said, like, that's racist. And they're like, well...
No, you know what that is?
That's why I think that it was a setup. Because, like, it isn't, like, nobody gives a fuck about that. That's stupid.
You know what? That
like,
also...
a black lead. He's a black president. You might like to see a black guy as the lead of a movie.
Shut up. Deal. It also really sounds like... It really sounds like two fucking stiff, unfunny dudes trying to joke with each other. Because I've heard plenty of stuff like that too, you know.
And there's...
I bet you Obama would like a movie about fried chicken and tap dancing with big lips in the 30s. You know, like, oh, okay. Yeah, good joke. That's funny. Wow.
Well, and then there's let's see, there's one where a producer was talking shit about Angelina Jolie and called her minimally talented.
Yeah, she's difficult to work with.
Yeah, there's one where someone made a joke about someone else's manhood.
Yeah, right. See, that is all stuff
like,
you could just...
If this was a real breach, there'd be some bad shit coming out.
You know, you kind of... Yeah, the more I'm thinking about that does make a lot more sense. Because considering the evil stuff that those people really do fucking talk about, probably, you know...
Here's one weird thing where they released a hacked email from George Clooney in which he had typed, I know this email is being hacked. That's pretty weird.
Whoa.
And then he also came out and talked about how this was going to be a huge problem for Hollywood, and this is just the beginning. So maybe George Clooney is the hacker.
And he made sure to point out that he's the son of a newsman,
Hang on.
too.
Let's run with that. You think George Clooney could be the hacker?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean,
I think he could play any role.
He seems like he definitely seems like a pretty savvy, smooth guy. But
this sounds like an unsolved mystery for David Box.
That's what the thing with actors. Like, you think an actor is like smart or could do something, you know, not necessarily that George Clooney could be a hacker, but like if you probably talk to him he's probably one of the dumbest people on the fucking planet.
Did you see how he robbed that casino?
That was pretty smart. Yeah.
That was a really good plan.
Yeah. That also was the same movie like 3 times, wasn't it? Just like over and over.
Well, I mean, there was an original in like the 50s with the Rat Pack, and then
we got another caller wants to
remade,
join.
and then there was 2 more.
All right, Melissa, thanks for calling in. We gotta take this.
One more thing.
All right, hang on.
There's no downside. There's no downside to not watching it when everybody else does. Watch it a couple hours later. That's all I'm saying.
So why? What is your deal with that?
Because it's so hyped. This is like the best way to get everybody to watch something all at once instead of when it virally slowly gets to you.
But did you explain?
I'm just inherently suspicious of something that like all Americans are required to watch at one time.
So you think that what would be the motive to have everybody watch something at once? What would be the...
I don't know. I don't know what people in power want because I'm not one of them. But I'm just saying, like, watch a live tweet of it and then watch it later.
It's going to be like Coupon the movie on Mr. Show.
Yeah, I already thought of that, but I just... So you're saying, like, it could be some kind of trigger in some sort of, like, mind control planning that they've done in this movie could be used as some mass trigger to get everybody to see or do the same.
Make people do things they wouldn't have done otherwise.
Well,
I don't know.
That's a little tinfoil hatty, but it's all right. I don't know.
Where do you think North Korea came from?
What do you mean?
Good old-fashioned brainwashing.
That's true, actually.
Yeah.
You know what?
I heard that the movie is really crummy, too.
Hang on. All right, Melissa, you want to hang out?
All right, I'm going to go.
Are you going to go?
I'm going to go and maybe call back later.
Listen, call back in the last hour and tell us what Christmas means to you, okay?
So I will do that.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I heard that movie's really lousy.
I heard it's really good.
Where'd you guys hear those things?
I heard, because they did a bunch of screenings. It's not as though no one's seen it. They did a bunch of screenings, and a lot of media, a lot of media people have said it's really fucking hilarious.
I'll bet it is.
And supposedly there's some scenes that are just like groundbreaking. Like supposedly there's some cameo in it in the beginning that just that sets the wildest tone for the whole movie and just like has blown everybody away.
Is it George Clooney?
How hilarious it is.
I heard
Is it George
it's
Clooney?
really lousy from Kim Jong-un.
Oh.
You guys are talking again, huh?
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't like the movie.
All right.
Jerk.
What do you know about this shit?
Huh?
What do you know about this shit?
Well, I mean, it's definitely, you can't blame Sony Pictures.
I don't think so either, really, unless they're behind the whole thing like we've been talking about. Which I'm starting to fucking think they are.
That could very well be. I mean, this is the most publicized movie of all time.
I mean, it's
point,
why
right?
wouldn't they? Why wouldn't somebody do this at some point?
All right, now,
you
know what we haven't talked about yet, though, is Paramount stopping theaters from screening Team America World Police, which a lot of theaters elected to do in place of the interview, because it has a similar storyline.
Okay, no, we're talking about now. We're not talking about when that movie came out.
No, we're talking about right now.
We're talking about right now. Paramount was going to replace all...
No, the movie theaters wanted to show Team America World Police in place of the interview for all of those slots.
Is that how far we've gone in 10 years? Now theaters won't even show one of the biggest fucking movies that ever came out?
Yeah, no, the theaters want to show it, but Paramount started sending cease and desist letters to any theater that was promoting that.
That movie was giant in the theaters, wasn't it?
It was enormous. It was a huge deal.
She's fine, don't worry. So we just had a guest walk in the studio.
That was one of the biggest. And the storyline is so similar, but it's done with puppets. But it's about assassinating Kim Jong-il while he was in power.
Right, and then so what happened? Right, it is the fucking same thing. I didn't even think of that, dude. I've seen that movie like 10 times.
Which is why they wanted to replace it.
So what did Paramount say then? What are you saying? Like, how did this...
They're sending season to any theater that they found that was saying, hey, we're going to show Team America instead. Paramount started sending cease and desist letters saying, no, you can't do that.
Why? Because they're not getting paid?
They didn't say.
Oh.
No, and
has something to do with money?
Any theater that has then relayed that information, I mean, nobody has come out and said it, but of course it is.
Mm-hmm.
Either that, or they're being pressured by somebody else to not allow it.
Okay.
Because you'd think if they had the opportunity to make money on a movie that's that old, that they would do that.
Well, are they starting to figure out that DVD sales for a cult classic, like something especially something like Seth Rogen can create, are they starting to figure out that that's worth a lot more than $80 million at the box office in the first fucking 2 weeks?
They're trying to figure this out. It might be a good, a big gain for technology, because I wouldn't put it past Sony to figure out another way to release this that would be just as profitable.
Yeah.
I mean, I would guess that that's what they're... if they have some complicity in a conspiracy, that would be what it is.
Right.
That they're going to release some technology that we didn't know about, that's going to cost us all a lot of money, but we're going to think it's real cool.
All right.
Because, people are paying, what, $10 for a movie now, right?
At least, yeah.
To go to a theater?
I don't even know. I haven't been...
Yeah, that's about right.
About $10.
The last movie I saw in the theater was True Grit. I saw the original one in the movies, and then I saw the Coen Brothers one.
Then you saw that in the theater, too.
Much better. I think that was $8 or something like that.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel very tired.
All right. Well, we're about done for the first hour anyways. We got to break real quick.
Yeah, I think it's time to break.
Anything else on... Anybody else want to espouse any?
The Department of Homeland Security has said that it was not a credible threat, so everyone can just calm down.
Oh, okay. Well, they're on top of things.
Yeah,
they have always got it. Were they also simultaneously running a drill where North Korea takes over a movie at the same time that it actually happened? That's something that they'll be usually a part of. All right. Thanks for calling in to the Sunday Evening Overdose. And hey, will you call back later and just tell us what Christmas means to you? We're doing a really nice segment on that at the end of the show.
How do you think what Christmas means to me would be a real nice part of this, or
That's the joke. That's the joke. All right, well, we gotta go.
I don't really have fond memories of Christmas, so
Yeah, no one does. That's the whole gag. So you got it. We'll talk to you later if you're still up. Thanks for calling in.
I'll call in and cry.
Thanks for calling in, partner.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Quick break. You at home, stay right where you are. You are listening to the Sunday Evening Overdose. We play like 2 songs and come right back and start talking again. We just have to go fucking roll blunts and pour wine and things of this nature. Mostly has to do with weed and booze. So we'll be back in 2 motherfucking minutes. Goodbye.